so glad that you have joined me today. We're going to be talking about this very important question: why am I not married? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why am I not married? Especially women. That's the question you keep asking yourself. And I know you're trying to give all kinds of excuses on why you're not married. And many of you are blaming the men. These brothers, they just don't know how to approach a woman, and they're not ready, and they've got their issues. And some of you ladies have declared that I am not going to babysit nobody. I'm not going to be no man's mama. So you're telling yourself, I don't want to deal with these guys. And then with that kind of an attitude, you wonder why so many women are still single. And before you throw stones at me now, just be patient here. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's have a conversation about why are there so many women and so many men who have yet to stand before a man or a woman of God to say, I do. You see, searching for the answer can be a little bit tricky. I've been around a long time. And I've spoken to a whole lot of people, many people, who will give me all kinds of answers. Pastor or Henry, the reason why I'm not married is because of this, because of that. And I'm here today to kind of just tear down that kind of theology, that kind of a concept, that belief system, that what you think may be preventing you from being married is actually not true. You see, if you be honest to yourself, you will realize and come to the understanding that most of you are deceiving yourself. You're deceiving yourself. So let's deal with this first of all. The question needs to be answered, and that is, do you seriously want to get married? Let's talk to men for a moment. Do you really, really want to get married? And a lot of brothers will tell you, they really want to settle down and to have a wife and so forth, but the drama they don't want to deal with. The drama of this woman, perhaps, yes, she's beautiful. Perhaps, maybe, she can really make him feel good. But the attitude or her way of thinking, or she's moody, or whatever it may be. There's a lot of guys who are scared to death of walking down the aisles because, again, they are seeing so many signs that are telling them that, you may want to think about this twice. I'm getting to you ladies. Come on, calm down. Calm down. You don't attack me so quickly like, well, he's only talking from a man's perspective. I want to talk to you. Just chill out for a moment. This is going to help you. You see, because so many of you don't even understand, man, that marriage is a good thing and dating is a good thing. But you have to position yourself for this. You have to prepare yourself for this. Being single, here it comes. Being single is a choice. Yes, it is. And I know what you're saying. That's not true, Pastor. That's not true, Henry. I want to get married. And it's not a choice. I'm single because of circumstances. Well, let's deal with the men first. Remember, I was talking about them. So ladies, just calm down. I'm coming to you. Hold on. And I know you're saying, come on, hurry up, Henry. All right, I get you. Okay. All right. So I think for us men, we have to understand that there's a lot of women, you may think that though they want to be led, and they're crying out, I want a man to lead me and guide me. In reality, they don't position themselves to be led. Every time a guy comes to take the lead, some women, they'll shoot him down with their attitudes or certain responses that they will give. And I think that women need to understand this. If you position yourself correctly, if you open yourself in a way for a man to lead you, yes, he will. He will lead you. So if you are not honest with yourself, you will brush the issue off, deceiving yourself about the real reason why you're single. If you keep brushing off the real reason why you're single, you're going to deceive yourself. And so many people are deceiving themselves. Men and women who are deceiving themselves. You see, singleness to me is the preparation season for your life when it comes to adulthood, dating, and marriage. Those three things. Your singleness, your single stage, or the single stage of your life, if you will, is the preparation stage to get you to dating, to get you for adulthood, and to get you for marriage. See, if you say adulthood, Henry, because the thing is, a lot of people won't get married. And I want that to sink in. I've been dealing with this for a while, and I want to help some of you with the frustration of, why am I this way, and what's wrong with me, and perhaps you're cool, but the issue is other people are looking at you, and they're putting the pressure on you, like, why you're not married? We need to understand that we have to become adults first before we even think of even dating or marriage. If you're not an adult mentally and in your actions, well, you're going to mess up somebody's life. Are you listening to me today? So I think the stage of singleness will prepare you for these 3 seasons to be an adult. For the man to be an adult, a responsible adult, learning to identify who you are, build on who you are, and perfect yourself first. Now notice, I'm not telling you to be 100% right before you transition into dating and marriage. What I am saying is to be mature enough that you can handle dating and you can handle the stage of marriage. On previous podcast, I told you that your attitude while being single directly affects your dating life and your marriage life. That's true. It's your attitude. And if I had time, I'll talk about how to perfect your attitude. Your attitude, listen to me, men, sometimes you have to adjust your attitude, man. There's a lot of adjustments you have to make when it comes to how you think, your approach, when it comes to a woman. Don't let this guy fool you. Don't let this title as a bishop fool you. You got to know how to talk to a woman. You got to know how to talk to a woman. You got to know how to approach a woman. You see, a woman is a good listener. Ask Eve. She's a good listener. Good listener. You can talk to her, and if you say the right words and back it up with the right actions, oh yeah, you'll win that woman over. So your attitude as a man, you have to kind of look at the woman you're dealing with. And by the way, all of them are not the same. Every woman comes with a specific manual. You cannot deal with this woman in your life today based on the manual of the woman last year. The girl you were with 5 years ago, 2 years ago. It's not going to work. Every woman comes with a different manual. You have to try to figure that one out. So you have to kind of know the kind of girl you're going after. And even when you're married, you got to know the kind of woman you married and figure out how to handle her, how to deal with her. Because if you can get your attitude right, if you can know how to adjust to a woman's attitude, brother, I am telling you, you will be at peace in your life. The stuff you complain about, you won't complain about it no more, right? You can't get a woman to think like you. And the same thing I will tell sisters, don't you ever try to get a man to think like you. And I hear a lot of women say, I want my man to be like this, and why can't he be like what? No, stop it. That's why you're going to be single for the rest of your life, because you want a man who fits your narrative. And remember, you're a woman, so you think one way. It's kind of like, for me, in the future, I'm going to speak on the issues of females, how to respond to them, how to study them in a sense. You'll never fully comprehend or understand who they are, but you can have some basic level of understanding of a woman through every stage of life. Because, brothers, let me tell you something. The woman you meet today, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 25 years from now, she gonna change. In the manual of how to deal with the woman comes with different stages. And the manual will tell you that in this stage, this is how you deal with her, but she's going to flip on you, and then you got to know how to deal with her in this stage. And it's all good. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying there are ways that you have to learn how to deal with a woman. Same thing with men, ladies. We come with a manual. Now, our manual is not as complicated as yours. Our manual is pretty much straightforward and simple. Our manual will tell you, how we think, when we're broken, how to fix us. That's it. That's the end of the day. That's how you fix us. But again, on the other side, with women, there are different parts to their manual. And you got to figure that out. And and I tell you what, with women, their manual has to be revised ever so often. Brothers, we just one-dimensional. That's it. What you see is what you get. You take care of a man, he's fine. Come on now. You know what? Most average men, some of you religious men won't relate to what I'm saying. Most men, look, you just respect them. You make them feel like a king. You feed them. You give them enough sex, and that's it. Game over. Story. They don't complain about nothing. But if you don't feed them, if you don't respect them, and God help if you hold sex from them, they turn into a beast. And all the sisters say amen. And I'm telling the truth. That's it with men. We're easy to get along with. Our manual is very simple. We're broken, you can fix us. On the other hand now, I'm going to tell you, brothers, got to understand this now. If your perspectives are off, you will be single for the rest of your life. You will be, because you're not going to be willing to take the risk to say, you know what, I'm going to date that girl, and then I'm going to eventually marry her. So there's a lot of you who should have been married by now. However, it's not so, because you have the wrong perspective of love, the role of the opposite sex, and marriage. The reason why some of you are not married right now is simply because your perspectives are off. It's totally wrong when it comes to love. I'm a firm believer. A lot of people really, truly don't know the true definition of love. It's selfish love. It's kind of like, okay, what I want, right? So women will say, I want to get married. And the problem is they're not married today is because the guy noticed that, wait a minute, you just want. You're not willing to give nothing. And I'm not talking about y'all to go to bedroom with him and give him sex. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you cannot be selfish. See, because love, the best definition of love is found in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. It gives all of the attributes of love, what love is. And until you practice that, you're not ready to enter into a relationship. And if you do, you're going to mess it up. You're going to totally mess it up. Right? You have to embrace love. And you have to walk out love the Bible way, God's way. You have to love intentionally. You have to love even when you're hurting. You have to love even when you get crushed. Even when someone does you something that is hurtful, you have to love. And if you're not ready for that, then don't talk about, and complain, I wonder why I'm single. Because maybe you're just not forgiven. Because every time you confess out of one side of your mouth that I want to get married, I want to find me a good husband, I want to find me a good wife, here comes the negative that you cancel the positive. You cancel out what you're decreeing. You come up with stories like, well, but I ain't settling for no good man. I ain't settling for nothing but the best. I deserve the best. And listen to me, some of you ladies, come on, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. I ain't settling for no broke man. I ain't settling for no man who got no good credit. He better have a job. And you got this long list of what you want from this guy. And you yourself, you're broke. Come on now. You don't have no money and your credit is horrible. That's not fair. That's not right. You can't do that. I mean, what happened to two broken people? I'm loving this, man. What happened to two broken people who've got issues, who need some guidance, and who need a partnership to build an empire? What happened to you with your bad credit, all right, and you don't know how to get it together and don't fully understand, responsibility, hooking up with a man, bad credit, all right, and he just don't understand certain things. However, what you both have in common is this unity and this passion to want to be better, to build a life, to build an empire, to win in life. You see, when you have that passion, then it's easy to take on somebody who's imperfect and make life with that person. See, one of the things we forget that in the Bible, everybody that God has used in anything, doing anything, they were not perfect. They were not perfect. And I think we need to be careful that we don't sabotage ourselves and our success by claiming to wanting something, but not being realistic about what we need to do in order to have what we want. So if you want a good woman, you got to understand, man, that, you can't just look for a perfect shape, size woman and whatever we men look for. You got to look for a woman that she's a keeper. She can help you hustle in life, to make life, and to win in life. If you want a man that will hustle with you and make life with you, come on now, then you just got to give in. And you'll find yourself not being single. Come on now, I had a woman recently said to me, well, I don't know why I'm single still and so forth, and there ain't no good men out there and so forth. So I said, okay, fine. If there's no good men out there, I don't know where you're looking at, but, I have some good men in the church. And she laughed. She looked like, good men, Bishop, where are they? Show me where they are. And I looked at her and I'm like, See, with that kind of an attitude, you're going to miss out, man. You're going to miss out, because what I was trying to share with her, and I think she got it, I said, well, you can't just look for a man with everything that you want, because he may not be there. But if you take a man who has nothing, and I know, some of you are about to turn it off now. You're like, no, I ain't living my life this long. Hustle through life, buying things on my own, doing things to bring no broke down, and you finish it. See, okay, you've just answered the question, why you're still single. Because of your perspective. Like God uses messed up people who are jacked up, and he believed in us so much that he says, let me work with this person. I'm going to work with this person, man. And he made something good out of us. Don't you think that God can do the same with someone else who you may think don't fit your profile, may not check off all the boxes on your list, right? What if God would send an ugly man in front of you and say, that's your man? Yeah, I know. I see. I knew that was going to be your response. The devil is a lie. I don't want no ugly man. Well, it depends on what your definition of ugly, right? Because you're saying, I don't want no ugly man. And sometimes it's the men who you think are ugly are most loyal, faithful. They'll give you the world. They'll cherish you. They'll build a life with you. and no telling where your life will be. And I know this is hard for a lot of you to swallow. Same thing, men. Same thing. You're like, oh, I want a cute girl. What if God just sent a woman that to you may not check off all the boxes, right? But what? She'll be loyal to you, brother. She will take care of you. She will love you to death. She'll build a family with you. She'll be a true lifetime partner. So be careful what you're asking for. Be careful how you're going after things in life that really don't benefit you, that really don't add value to what you are confessing, right? So a lot of you need to make sure that your thought process when it comes to love is correct. And then when it comes to the role of the opposite sex, again, going back to what I said previously, learning to deal with the opposite sex. If you can master that, you can find love. I got to say that again. If you can master understanding the role of the opposite sex and how we operate, you can find love. Because as a man, you will not find true love if you're trying to find it based on how men think. Based on how we think, you'll never find it. But if you put your mind on the right things, that, okay, what's the purpose for a woman in my life? Think about that. You know, ask yourself the question. All right, you're talking about you want to get married, you want to date. Okay, what is the purpose for a woman in your life? Why do you want a woman? Think about that. Why do you want a woman in your life? And if you say, well, I need somebody to cook and clean for me, wrong. Where are you from? Do you know what time it is? It's 2020. Not back in the 50s. Well, I want a woman who, would stay home, just have my babies. Wrong. This is not the Bible days. This is not in the 40s, the 30s, the 50s, the 60s. This is a different time, my friend. So you have to have the right perspective of the opposite sex. And then you have to have the right perspective of marriage. Why do you want to get married? Because if you have the wrong perspective of marriage, just stay single. I was telling you earlier that some people will never get married. Never get married. It's okay. If you choose to be single, it's okay. Be happy. But if there's certain benefits you want and you can't get it as a single person, then you need to shut that thought down about you want to stay single. Come on, just say, Lord, I need me a spouse. I need me a woman. Find me a woman real quick. God, find me a man real quick. Yeah. Me in this bedroom ain't good. It ain't good, God. Not good. Me hanging out by myself is not good. I'm suffocating, right? You got to be honest. You see, some of you can't handle this, man, but it's true. Just be honest and say what you want. So you're still single because of your thinking. So I want to help you. You can change your status right now by choosing whether or not you want to date that would lead to marriage, or I'm going to stay single. You can remain in your current status of, okay, I'm single, I'm happy with that, I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to fuss, I'm not going to cry about it, I'm not going to complain, I am just going to stay single. Or you can open up, having the right perspective of life, and say, you know what, I hope that I'll meet that special person in my life. Because you see, wrong thinking produces wrong living. If you think wrong, you're going to live wrong. If you keep thinking, okay, women are for this, men are for this, and whatever you may think, and if it's off, then of course that's the fruit you're going to eat from in your life. I believe that God has given every one of us a mind, and we must use it wisely to make wise choices. We have to use it to make wise choices. So there are many, many, many human beings out there. And just because you've had bad experiences with a few should not cause you to conclude, there is no woman out there for me. There's no man out there for me. I'm just going to stay single for the rest of my life. If that's your choice, God bless you. But if you believe that God will give you the desires of your heart, then your job is just to say, Lord, thank you. You know what? I believe and I receive. I know you're going to give me that woman, and I'm going to open myself up to that. And I know you're going to give me that man. I'm going to open myself to that. So singleness is a choice. Right now, brothers, you're single because it's a choice. It's a choice, but if you really want to get married, you go out there, you go fishing, man. And one of the things I love about what God has permitted us Christians to do, and this is what's not taught a lot in the churches, because people think that when men go hunting, it's lusting, it's evil. But no, if you're a single man, go hunting. Go hunting, start looking. Boaz was looking at Ruth in the garden. He didn't close his eyes. He had his eyes locked in on one girl. So your job is, men, just go hunting. Just go look. There ain't nothing wrong with you go looking. Go look out there. If that's your desire now. So don't be complaining, well, I'm still single. I don't know why. Ain't no good woman out there. That's a lie. Just go out there and hunt. You'll find. Right? You'll find somebody. Okay? You choose whether or not you want to stay single. It's up to you. Women, the same thing. Right? I'm not telling you to go out there now, women. Don't be writing down stuff now and talk about, the pastor said I ought to go hunting. Here I go. No. Stop stalking the men. No. Just be at the right place at the right time. Position yourself. One of the things you need to understand about men, we're visual. Right? So, but you got to be careful with that now. Be careful with that now, because you can fix yourself up. And you see, you can fix yourself up as a woman to attract a man, but if you don't dress up your attitude, you'll chase him away. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one right there. If you don't fix up your attitude like how you fix up your hair, you put on heels, pants, all that kind of a stuff, come on now, you're going to chase that man away. You're going to cancel out what you're confessing. You got to dress up your attitude too. You got to make sure your thinking is right. You got to make sure your vocabulary, the way you speak, the way you articulate your words, and how you speak when you're exchanging conversation with that person, that prospective date. You got to make sure you get your act together. Watch your attitude. A guy come up to you, hey, how you doing? My name is so-and-so. What you want? Yeah. Okay, I know your name is. Okay, thank you for telling me. But I'm busy. Can't begin. And then you go home. Lord, why are you not sending me a man? Well, he just sent you. Maybe the guy didn't come right and whatever, and you chased him away. Okay, remember what I told you? That he's imperfect. He's got issues, and maybe what God is saying to you, clean your act up together, man, and, maybe what God is saying to you, clean your act up, and he'll work with you, right? He'll work with you. So I am here today to tell you, man, this is good stuff. Women, you can change your status from singleness to being in a relationship that leads to marriage. You can change that. So why are you single? You consciously and unconsciously decide to stay in that status. Some of you don't know. You're just doing it out of ignorance. And some of you blatantly are doing it because you just like drama. That's it, man. Now, here are some suggestions I want to give to you to help you get to your desired place. That is the place of maybe dating and even marriage. There are two things I want to tell you. Number one, make up your mind on what status you want. That's it. Make up your mind. Do you want to be single? And if you want to be single, don't talk about, Lord, why you're not sending somebody to me. If that's your choice, you want to be single, that's it. Just be single and stop watching them Lifetime movies and them movies, love movies, and reading them novels. Stop it. Because all you're doing making stuff bad for yourself. Just stop it. Don't read nothing that will stir up that desire in you. If you don't want to be married, then kill it. Just kill the idea of marriage and just stay single, and all you do is go home and watch game shows, and and you just talk life and go and volunteer at Dare to Care and halfway houses and do all kinds of stuff, and don't nothing about love. Shut it down. Shut it down. And number 2, position yourself for your desired status. So after you have made up in your mind what status you want, married or single, you work towards it, and then you position yourself. If you say I don't want to be married, then position yourself. That's it. Don't do what dating people want to do and what married people want to do. And if you want to be married, you want to get into a relationship, then do what you're supposed to do. So brothers, start hunting. Women, start positioning yourself and make yourself available for these guys. All right? So, why am I still single? It's your choice. I'll see you next time.